Welcome. I'm Brady Larkin, and this is Footy with Friends. We got a fun episode today. We're going to kick it off with Larkin-on-Liverpool to address the rematch of the Liverpool-Manchester United derby. Spoiler alert, I'm still hopeful. I have a must-see game this weekend that I'm going to preview for you, and we're going to get an exclusive look inside one of the best college soccer programs in the country, the University of Lynchburg. I connect with assistant coach Josh Hinkle on what I hope gives some much-deserved shine to D3 athletics. All right, let's do it. Liverpool versus Manchester United, the rematch. As lame as last weekend's 0-0 tie was, today more than made up for that. It finished 3-2 Man United, 2 goals from Marcus Rashford for United, 2 goals from Mo Salah for Liverpool, and Bruno Fernandes came on as a sub to score the game winner from a free kick. What a game! Am I disappointed? Yes, absolutely. And I'm really encouraged by their performance. To start, Liverpool's finally scoring goals again. It's the first time in at least 4 games. We're creating chances. We're moving the ball with sharp combination play. I mean, our counter-pressing was absolutely suffocating at times. We just made too many individual errors that cost us big time today. I mean, there was a Reece Williams missed kick that sent Rashford in on a 1v1. Fabinho's completely unnecessary foul on Cavani led to us conceding a free kick late in the game. And despite this, to me, this game proves that the players and the staff are up to the challenge of putting in the hard work, preparation, to really start turning more good performances like this one into results in the future, and hopefully the near future in the Premier League where it matters. Don't get me wrong, I respect the FA Cup. I wish Liverpool were advancing to the next round, but the reality is they're not. United is a good team that deserved to win today. And this, of course, means Liverpool are no longer in an additional competition that would only put further pressure on an already depleted and injury-prone squad. So this could very well be a blessing in disguise. So heads up, let's move on and keep the goals coming in the league. I also have a game that I would love for you all to put on your calendar. This Saturday, January 30th, is the Copa Libertadores final. This is the South American equivalent of the UEFA Champions League final. Here, the winner is going to be crowned as the top team in the continent by their federation, CONMEBOL. The championship matchup this year is Santos and Palmeiras, 2 of the top teams in Brazil. Full disclosure, I haven't seen either team play this year. The last time I watched Santos play was 10 years ago when Neymar led him to a Copa Libertadores title. So I'm going in without a scouting report on this one. And honestly, I kind of like it better this way. This is my little way to broaden my horizon and get to learn about the soccer culture of teams I'm not too familiar with, or even the country that they represent. I mean, in this case, it's Brazil, so I am confident the soccer is going to deliver. This will also be the game next weekend during which I'll be live tweeting. I would love to share some friendly banter with like-minded footy friends. So check out my Twitter page at @footy_friends for more info on the game time and where you're going to be able to stream it. And finally, the main event today. I caught up with my buddy, my colleague, and former roommate, Josh Hinkle. Josh is currently an assistant coach with the men's soccer team at the University of Lynchburg. Josh and I were grad assistants together at the then Lynchburg College, where we won 2 conference titles and made it to the NCAA tournament. Coach Hinkle is no stranger to success as both a player and now a coach, and with his involvement in the team, it's really no surprise that Lynchburg has continued to thrive in recent years. Folks, Lynchburg is one of the top men's soccer programs in the country. It was a real treat to learn about how the team adjusted to a fall semester when varsity sports were postponed during the pandemic. We also discussed the plans they're making to resume this spring and going forward. And of course, we catch up about stuff we'd used to discuss over dinner in the living room, like dogs, Chelsea FC, the U.S. national team, New Girl, and much more. So, without further ado, here's me and Josh Hinkle. What else is new? What else is new at Lynchburg?
I mean, got a swim team now. Pretty cool.
Do you have a pool?
Liberty has a pool.
Liberty has the pool.
So
Okay.
he's doing a really good job. He's got, a bunch of kids on the squad, so that's cool.
Okay.
Other than that, we got a spring season coming up. Guys are getting back on campus tomorrow.
Ooh, okay. Welcome back.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we'll get to playing around the 30th. We start to train. So,
Okay.
what about you guys?
It's still winter break for another week and a half. Classes are supposed to start February 1st. So
Okay.
there's like a phased move-in period because, I mean, more so than Lynchburg, these students at Rochester are coming from all over.
Yeah.
So there's just a longer, it seems like longer than other schools, like testing. And if you have to quarantine, you got to build that into, when you move back. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but the plan is to get like practices and get going like that next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We're all just itching. I'm sure you are too. Just itching to like do something and play some soccer, have some sense of normalcy.
Well, we're playing conference games, but are you guys going to play conference games or just local teams? Because I know UAA is just, that would be really tough to play some conference games with travel.
Certainly not UAA games, and that was one of my questions I was going to ask you, like what it's going to look like. But we're permitted to do stuff within 100 miles, which doesn't leave you much. But there's plenty of schools in New York in that 100 miles that, I guess if schools agree and like, I don't know, cases are low, maybe later in the spring we could set something up, but I don't know.
Home and away, St. John Fisher.
Home and away, yeah.
Love it.
Just across town games. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure we can get into college stuff, but you want to start with the team you support?
Yes.
Very timely.
I haven't gotten to get everything off my chest with people because no one else cares. So I'm glad you asked.
I care. I care.
I know. No one just like you bring up Chelsea and they just want to talk about Man United. You want to talk about Liverpool. So I'm glad you care.
So is Chelsea the forgotten one?
They might be right now. I mean, don't really have an identity. Haven't really done much. Not really an excuse like Liverpool. Liverpool's lost has injuries. Chelsea's got a couple $80 million guys on the bench. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that weighing on their shoulders? What's I don't know. What's the reason for this strange season?
I mean, it's tough because, Lampard coming in, he's got to try to build his own identity. But, I mean, you got 3 or 4 guys that you bring in that you kind of have to play them. So if they're not in the top form, what do? You just spend 80 million euros in the transfer market for a couple of these guys. And if they're not performing, do you go with the guys that you already had there, like the Hudson-Odois and the Girouds that, have been performing well, but, I don't know. I think he's in a tough spot, honestly.
Yeah, And what a just a crazy situation to try to have to figure out your lineup while like these games are coming every 3 days and there's so much pressure on Lampard to figure that out. That's tough.
I know. I think that's where he's struggled, honestly, is finding the right team to put in, every week. It seems like the only players that are consistently in the starting lineup is Pulisic, Chilwell on the left, and Thiago Silva, and then Mendy in net. But that leaves you, three center mids, a forward, a winger, the other center back, the right back. So, and it's just hard to get a rhythm when guys are constantly changing in there. And Jorginho is much different than a Conte in there than a Kovacic playing in the CDM. So it's got to be tough.
Yeah. Did you watch the game yesterday?
Yes.
That was weird. I was looking around for Conte, for Jorginho, for all these guys, for Giroud. No one's playing. It looks like they're still trying to figure out the best 11. And I don't know. It seems like they're almost too deep. Like they have too many quality players. Like who works well together, I guess they need to figure out.
It's a crazy thought, being too deep. As a coach,
you're too deep.
You love to be deep like that, but it makes it hard to figure out who works well together. And then you always have 3 or 4 guys that could be starting on another Premier League club that's on your bench. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's got to be hard to keep egos in check all the while trying to get the best 11. And I mean, I feel for him, but I don't know. He might have been a little bit new to the Premier League, and be thrown in like that is tough. So
for Lampard,
yeah.
So where do you stand on? Do you want to sack him, or you let him trust the process?
It's tough. He's a club legend, and
you can't sack Lampard.
I know, but I don't know how much longer you can go with the style they've been playing, because it hasn't been fun to watch. If it's fun to watch, it's a different story, and they're losing games maybe 5-4, 3-2, but it's haven't been scoring goals, haven't really been close in the last couple of games, and then they win 1-0, but they're up a man against Fulham.
Yeah.
It wasn't a convincing win either. So to be honest with you, I don't know where I'm at on all of that, because I hate to say to get rid of a coach, because I am a coach, but
yeah,
they're not performing well right now.
They're not in the league. They're like what, 7th or 8th, like whatever, mid-table. I lean towards giving Lampard time, because it seems like a lot of these guys are young, or it's their first year or second year in the team. So they're figuring it out just as much as Lampard is. So I think hopefully sooner rather than later, they figure out who works well together. Like you sprinkle in some of the older experienced guys like Giroud and Conte.
Yep.
And Thiago Silva, like, holy cow, what a leader to just pick up in the transfer window. That's absurd. But yeah, you just figure it out. Maybe you get top 4, but in the meantime, they look so dangerous in the Champions League.
I know.
It's like 2 different Chelseas that you're seeing.
Absolutely. And for the first part, like, who better to learn from a younger player than Lampard,
Yeah.
To learn how to be professional. And a lot of his post-game interviews, it's not really about the style. It's more about players and, the willingness to run and how hard are they working out there. And, so he's getting the mindset there. But, yeah, Champions League, they're a totally different team. And that may just be because they're not playing against Premier League teams and
true,
a little bit freer to play and not as defensive. So other teams are trying to attack as well. So I don't know. They may have a run in them, and that could save him, to be honest with you.
I know. Just if I was Lampard, I'd be like, okay, I get it. We're not playing our best, but give me a month. Champions League's coming back. Just see how we do, right? Just buy a little more time. Like anything goes in the Champions League. You can beat anyone on given night.
Absolutely. I'm all in for giving him more time. I'm in for it.
Give him more time. Give him more time.
I wouldn't exactly say that's Abramovich's strong suit, though.
Dude, what a short trigger he has.
I know. And I love Sarri and get you
I forgot about oh my God.
That's how quick his trigger is. You win a Europa League and you're out.
Oh my God. I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I was going through some of the managers, Mourinho, Conte. It completely missed out. Sorry.
It was a quick stint. It was quick.
God. Well, what's your origin story of liking Chelsea? Does it go back to the Mourinho days? Like, where's your support come from?
To be honest, I like growing up when I was really young, I was into Real Madrid. They were my favorite just because the Galacticos. They had
I
all
think
the
I
top
think
names.
we all were.
Yes, exactly. And to be honest with you, I needed a English club, and I loved Drogba. He was my
Mm,
favorite player. Just watching him play and just create something out of nothing and scoring goals. So that's probably where it came. And then I became a Fernando Torres fan. And with the whole Mourinho thing, I kind of lost a little bit of interest in him just because he had success, but I hated the playing style. It was literally sit back and counter. And I was like, you get wins, but it's hard to watch as a fan. And then you
right.
expect it as a coach, but it's hard to watch that playing style, week in and week out and grinding out performances. And so, yeah, that's the origin story. And that's my take on Mourinho.
Yeah, Mourinho. He quickly, wherever he goes, he quickly turns the cameras on himself.
Yeah.
Uh, like case in point, freaking Amazon documentary, more or less about him rather than Tottenham. But hey, if you want results and you don't care how it looks, he's your guy.
I mean, man, he's done wonders with Tottenham though. And it's not like they have the strongest lineup, the most depth, and they're always in games. So you got to respect it the way he goes about business. It's different kind of way, but you got to respect.
Yeah, talking about Mourinho and like more of the coaching, it seems like maybe not since he was at Porto or something. Like this is probably the least amount of quality he's had in a team. He's always been coaching the top teams in the top leagues. And it's like, okay, sure, you can win, but now he's proven he can do it with Tottenham. That's pretty cool.
Well, he is relying heavily on Harry Kane and Son. So,
He's always you got to have one guy in your team. That's your go-to.
yeah, and I don't know who's the left wing? Is there?
Bergwijn.
Yes, and I mean, I think I saw a stat maybe a couple weeks ago that he hadn't scored all season. So it's like,
Well, there's no more goals left over. It's just Kane
wow,
and Son. They score them all.
gosh, what a luxury! What a luxury to have strikers that can score.
Ugh. And as coaches, that's all we're looking for. Recruiting. Look for the strikers.
Hardest player to find.
It's borderline impossible. You have to convert like outside backs to here. Go get a run up top.
uh, yeah, we converted our CDM last year to a point striker and turned the season around. It's like, where did that come from?
We converted a goalkeeper to a striker.
Yes, see that's always the dream. That is
Scored the goal of the season, a full volley on the turn. Ridiculous.
That is what dreams are made of. Rochester, making dreams come true for goalkeepers.
That's what we do. Yeah, you can come here. We're open minded. You could play in the goal. You could play in the field. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. Can you hear Duke in the background?
I do hear Dookie.
Duke. He's your Uncle Brady.
Is he recovered from like multiple ACL surgeries?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So two down. Hopefully not two more to go.
I know, right?
The wallet can handle that, but he's thriving. He's living his best life.
Nice.
Best friends with Jaden, so follows him everywhere.
Is he like real gentle with him?
Yeah, until he starts licking and just all over the face. And he doesn't know how big he is.
No, he thinks he's a lap dog, probably.
He's never known. So 90-pound pit bull.
He's never known. It's too late to tell him now. It's like, dude,
I know.
you just live your life.
Took him to the vet and she was like, he's 90 pounds. He's gained 11 pounds since we've last been here. I was like, yeah, quarantine and COVID, it's really taking a toll on him.
Yeah.
He's just been, as all of us,
God, 90 pounds. That's a big boy, man. Well, let's talk about college soccer. Obviously, I'm very familiar with Lynchburg, but for those that aren't, maybe tell us, I don't know, where you guys are, what conference you're in, what could I expect if I turned on ESPN 3 and caught a game?
First thing you'll hear is the voice of the Hornets, Joe Hutzler. So shout out to him.
Yes.
So University of Lynchburg, right in the middle of our conference, which is the ODAC, Old Dominion Athletic Conference. So we're kind of Southern Virginia. Great conference, really competitive. Every game is, not easy, and that's the way we like it. So we have 12 teams in our conference now. Emory and Henry is just actually, they're going Division II now. So I'm
Oh,
not sure
peace
if you
out.
heard about that. Yeah.
No.
So got 12 teams. That gets rid of a 4-hour bus trip for us.
Yeah,
So
you're not gonna miss that one, are you?
no. Great conference, great play. Lots of different styles of play. So you got to be prepared for anything. We've had some success in the past couple of years, so we're hoping to continue. And I see you got the scarf in the background. Love it.
Lynchburg till I die.
Absolutely.
That's the one. Yeah. So you said at the top of this, you're going to play some games this spring, some conference games.
Yes.
What's that going to look like?
So mainly we're doing an eight game schedule for conference. So an unbalanced schedule. We've had that last couple of years. So nothing really changes from our conference schedule we would have had in the fall. But we can add in a couple out of conference games. So we're actually planning on playing Liberty, which is cool.
Hey, all
So
right.
our guys get to play a Division I team, local team. So that would be great for them. And, it's just good to have other teams that you get to play because you just scrimmage yourselves too long and you're just asking for some questionable play. So
Yeah, tempers run hot when you're playing against each other every week. That was our fall, and that's probably going to be the most of our spring here at Rochester. So it's really cool to see you guys are able to pull that off.
yeah.
Thinking back to the fall, the forgotten season, what did that look like for you guys at Lynchburg?
Whew. So at the beginning, it didn't look good. So we weren't being able to train. The first week in, we shut down the campus for 2 weeks because the COVID numbers had gotten a little high, and really good move by the university, honestly, because right after that, it was, I think 2 weeks later, we ended up with like 0 cases for, a couple of days. So
Wow.
great move from them at the start. And then we got into some smaller sided, non-contact, social distance. So we had groups of 7 out there. So we had 4 or 5 groups of 7 for, 30 or 40 minutes. So we were out in the field for a long time, just trying to get through.
Yeah.
And then we were able to go a little higher numbers to 14, and we can get some contact, which I don't know if we could have lasted, another week of non-contact, of just technical training and things. Guys want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to see them play. So we got to see our freshmen play for the first time, in 3 or 4 months, which was awesome. They did really well. So we're excited about those guys. And then we got into some 11v11. We finally got to do like a red versus gray scrimmage towards the end.
Nice.
Put it on the live stream. Joe Hutzler commentated, the voice. ESPN3 in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. It'll be great.
That's cool. Sounds like you guys did quite a bit this fall after a slow start, which was probably necessary. But man, it's hard not to, I don't know, change our perspectives this fall because, not even every school was able to invite students back to campus. So just to have that privilege of playing a sport was, even if it's just practice, that just kind of kicked in for me. Like, wow, this is pretty cool. We should be smart about it so we can continue doing it for however long we can.
Absolutely.
It was nice. I'm sure the players all appreciated the opportunity to just be outside, right?
100%. And, they had a constant reminder because Randolph, there was no kids back on campus. They didn't have any of the students back. So,
And that's
we were
that's
able to
right
play.
across town. Like,
I know.
geez.
And we were able to play, and, you take 5 minutes, east, and they're not able to play or even be on campus. And, you'd see the coach around, and he was just like, down and, pretty depressed. I mean, he took it much better than I would have. So, the guys had a constant reminder of how lucky they were and how privileged they were to be out there on the field. And, it kind of reminds you of why you played. And then once it gets taken away from you, you realize how important it is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of just a good reset for them and prioritizing, what they want most in life. And it's going to happen in the spring too, because we're getting tests. And if your roommate tests positive, then you're out for a close contact. So
Right.
everyone's got to be ready to play. And once things are taken away from you, it's hard to see your team playing in your room and having to watch through the TV screen.
Yeah, that's no fun. So hopefully the boys are smart about just the way they are living life as student athletes. What's the testing going to look like? Do you know? Like the frequency of all that?
Yeah, so we were actually NCAA just downgraded men's soccer from like high contact to intermediate. So that actually took down our testing protocols, which is great. Because I know basketball right now is like 3 times a week they're getting tested because they're in the very highest contact. And
Yeah.
and so ours is down to like, I think it's 4 tests a month, but it's 25% of the team for each of the tests.
Mm-hmm.
So you get tested maybe once a month, depending on how random it is. You may get a couple tests in there. So
Right.
we're gonna have to be smart about, guys testing and who's who, and probably put them in groups just because, how it all works and the close contacts and things. And it's a lot of logistics that you would have never thought about that we're going to have to go through, 4 times a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Big logistics year this year in college sports.
It is.
Gosh, how much time did you spend on Google Docs and Microsoft Excel this year?
Oh my
That was
God. So much time. And Google Meet was our go-to. Love
okay.
it. Once they added in like the 35 tiles that you could see everyone's face, that way you could actually make sure all the guys are paying attention, and, they all got their shirts on. They're not sitting in bed. So
Yeah. Oh, we've had a few repeaters that are, oh, this is my Zoom spot. You're in bed right now.
I know.
turn your camera on. We need everyone's camera on.
I don't know if it's just the way they are, but a couple of our guys, every time they're on their phone and we're on a Google Meet or a Zoom, it's just the forehead or just the chin.
Yeah.
Or it's never like fully the face. It's like they only want to show a part of them. And I don't know. I've seen it recently. They do that on Snapchat where it's just like their chin or their forehead. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, I want to see your face. I haven't seen you all week.
I know. I don't want to see your nose. Like, that's funny. Well, speaking of logistics and stuff, assistant coaches. So we're the ones doing the dirty work a lot of the time. The work behind the scenes. I guess one of the big roles really, like how has your role changed in recruiting? Like what changes have you seen this year?
Yeah, I mean, our recruiting's been crazy because, some schools, they've got that extra year of eligibility, and, their seniors are already off, and, some of them are taking master's classes. And so we've got like 3 or 4 guys that are going to come back and play, which,
Oh, there you go.
really, limits the amount of, spots we can offer for that 2021 class. And, recruiting's been hectic because there haven't really been tournaments. So you had to go out and grind, drive 3 hours just to watch one game. Living in Lynchburg, driving up to Northern Virginia is 3 hours just to maybe see one ECNL game. And then the next day, maybe trying to catch one on your way back. And so it's been a grind, but luckily for us, we've got 3 coaches, and Coach Yeager's done a really good job this year of just getting out and grinding, which is awesome to see because he's, seen a lot of players. It's about quality now because we have a shorter number of players we can bring in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he's doing a really good job, and he can talk with the best of them. So,
he can.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you guys done much recruiting just through video? If you can't get out to see a game, say like nearby?
We've done some. So we went out to a couple ECNL tournaments, but then, the games that we didn't get to see, we came back and we watched on video. So we're able to go out and watch games. So I know for some of the Division Ones, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be a little bit of an advantage for us to go out and just talk to players after games and show our face a little bit. So that's what we've been trying to do. But I love, and hopefully it continues, that all of these tournaments offer that option of, recording games, and a lot of them's been high quality. So I was worried about if it was
Yeah.
50 yards away and you couldn't really tell what numbers. So, I've been impressed recently, and hopefully it continues because that makes it a lot easier on us. We can see more kids, more players. So it's been tough, and it's been good.
Well, yeah, it's good to hear you can kind of mix it up with seeing games in person still and some video. It probably helps, like you said, if you're at these big showcases, you don't have to necessarily run from one side of the complex to the other because, well, I can catch that on video later, you know?
Bethesda, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but is there a cart I can get on?
Oh my gosh. No.
No. So I have to walk through the park at the soccer complex? Like, get out of here.
Talk about logistics. Anytime you go to Bethesda, it's like, okay, I have 5 minutes to get from field 5 to field 23. Is that doable? No, maybe I'll just slide over to field 7 and see who's playing there.
Yeah, right. I'll go to 7, but also, where's the food? It's always a search. Where's the food tent?
Every year, because there's 20 something fields, and there's bound to be a tent at every one, just because parents need to sit under a tent. So you don't know which one's which.
No. What showcase has the best food?
Oh, CCL.
It's easy, right? It's not even close.
You know it. Fully catered, inside the coach's tent, heated, TV's on, Premier League playing. It doesn't get any better than that.
They know coaches. Like they do it well. I mean, is any showcase even close to the amenities?
I see. No. And I've seen them rep that in their emails, and it's just like, yep, they know it.
It's
They
yes,
know.
I'll be there.
Look it up. Yeah, I'm there. And so it's gonna be tough because they're not able to hold the coach's tent this year. So I don't know, that's a bummer, but at least you know that most of the coaches there will actually be out there watching instead of, staying in the nice, cozy coach's tent, maybe
That's
a little
true.
distracted, get to talk to some other coaches and miss, 10, 15 minutes of a game. So,
Yeah.
pluses and minuses, I guess.
And that's the story of the year. It was hard. It still is hard, but I think we're going to learn a lot from going through a hard season, a hard academic year, I'm sure for the players, but like we can be a lot better from this going forward. So that's kind of what I'm sticking to. You said a few seniors are coming back for a 5th year of eligibility.
Yep, possibly. So
Nice.
still have to work out a couple of things, get into the master's courses and make sure that, financially everything works out, because it is a big step, and it is, a financial commitment to come back for an extra year. So working through some of those, but yeah, we're excited to have some super seniors around, some veterans, like real veterans. It's
Real vets.
years. Yeah. And one of our guys could have an extra year after that. So Kyle Gallagher, the goalie.
How's that? Oh, was he injured?
Yeah, he was injured his first year. So, and a couple other guys have an extra year. So they may be Van Wilder 7 years. So if they take all their years they have.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was good to see the NCAA recognize that and just issue like a blanket waiver, I guess it was. Like that's pretty cool. But again, like you said, it's not feasible for everyone.
No.
Certainly at the D3 level where you're not getting athletic scholarships, you got to make it work with you and your family. So, yeah, I don't think we have any, at least right now, that have indicated they're going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. That'd be nice.
Yes.
But it just throws a crazy curveball in your recruiting.
Absolutely. And it's not just the seniors that get an extra year. It's, freshmen,
Everybody.
sophomores, and juniors. So you can't ask one of your freshmen, hey, are you staying for an extra year after your senior year? So
they don't know they're left from right yet.
No. And you can't really get ahead in recruiting. So it's just, kind of taking it as it is. And it's 2020. It is what it is. You got to keep moving forward. So
yeah. Again, the forgotten season, but we won't forget it because it's going to keep coming up every year for the next 4 years. God.
But hey, at least we get a Nodak Championship in this year. So guys have something to look forward to. So there is some hardware at the end of the year that they can get, which,
nice. wasn't quite clear if it's just going to be friendlies and just to do something, but there's actually a championship.
Yep, actually a championship. And so that's going to be on April 11th. So first game's February 23rd of the ODAC. And, but a month and a half later, you got the championship. So,
Oh, let's go.
yeah, guys are excited. Starting to move in tomorrow. Got the fitness test on Monday.
Oh, man, let's go.
Yeah.
Is this the mile and a half? What are
Mile
we
and a
doing?
half under 9. Yep. So,
Okay. Should I come back and pace him or what?
oh, absolutely.
Okay. I'll be the rabbit. Let's set it way too fast.
It's funny because some of those guys that are super fit, they don't really know how to pace themselves. So they'll sprint the first lap and get tired in the second lap, and then think they're behind and sprint the third lap. And so
Yes.
they always make it, but it's funny to watch just how they go about making it.
Yeah. It's always a good event for sure. So ODAC spring season, and we're optimistic about next fall too, the traditional season.
Yep, pretty optimistic. So hopefully all goes well on the NCAA side, because it seems like the ODAC our conference has been able to manage, their side of it and the championship side of it. So hopefully NCAA, by that time they can actually have fall championships, which would be wonderful.
Yeah, it seems like right now their priorities are, dealing with the winter and spring sports as they should.
Yes.
You would hate for certainly the spring sports to miss out on 2 years. I don't know if is basketball going to happen, or it is happening right now in a different kind of way, but I don't know if they're doing a bubble or I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Our basketball plan had their first game the other day, last Sunday, and got a big win. So
Hey,
Coach Hillary and the boys off to a hot start. TC Thacker's back. I think he had 16 points, 19 rebounds, 5 blocks, like 4 assists in his first game. Super
okay.
senior. So we're hoping some of that, for next fall from our super seniors would be wonderful.
Uh-huh.
Some veteran leadership would be great.
Yeah, isn't it cool how, and you remember when you're a senior and like you just approach your senior season, like you're not holding back 1 ounce. You're just like, I'm going for it. And to have that roll over into like a 5th-year senior, all that energy just like compressed. That could be really special if you have a group of guys come back for like a senior season.
Absolutely. And, we could field our same team theoretically next fall and not even need to bring in a recruiting class. So, but our freshmen this year are still eligibility-wise freshmen next year. So you may just have a bigger freshman class.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll need that senior leadership to help those guys through an actual full season.
Right. Yeah, or else you'll end up like Chelsea, too bottom heavy with the young guys.
Yeah, too much depth, right?
Too much depth. Too many freshmen.
Yeah,
it can happen.
We don't have any Germans, so
well, there's your problem.
I know. Got a bunch of American wonder kids. I'm hoping Pulisic can pull it out for him. He needs to get a couple goals. He hasn't got on the score sheet in a while, so
I know.
Chelsea needs a goal scorer.
Yeah, I think the U.S. is playing a game on like an international break, or maybe it's the women. I don't know, but he's the American hope. He's the dream.
Speaking of American hope, all this young talent, and I know I listened to your other podcast, and the person you had on before was talking about just the hopes that the U.S. has moving forward, and got guys at Juventus, guys at Barcelona, guys at Red Bull, and not the New York Red Bull,
Yeah, this is the parent Red Bull club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have this group of young dudes playing at some of the top teams in the world, not just getting a couple minutes here and there, but Pulisic and McKinney like scoring, and Serginho Dest, he's setting up Messi for goals. How cool is that?
It's crazy because it's something I thought I would never see, and then all of a sudden it just sort of like happened.
It happened quick. Yeah. And all of this after missing out on the World Cup and people saying, well, soccer's done in America.
Talk about timing, right?
How
Talk
does
about
that happen?
perfect timing for these kids. Because, you miss out on the World Cup and we're looking for younger talent to come and spark, and it's all there. So, and Berhalter's he's got a job ahead of him, but how exciting would that be?
Yeah, well, clearly, maybe in hindsight, the thing that was holding us back were the older guys that were there. Maybe maybe like a couple years too long. Like, should Bradley really have been playing in the midfield, or should it have been Tyler Adams and McKinney and whoever else?
And now John Brooks is your veteran. Like,
yeah, how'd that happen?
Exactly.
Where'd everyone go? Yeah,
that makes me feel old.
Yeah, Johnny Brooks.
Yeah, it's like I remember the good old Gucci Onyewu days. Like, those were the days. AC Milan didn't really pan out, but he was there.
He was there. Yeah, he injured his knee, and I think he just said, "Stop paying me. Like, yeah. I don't deserve it. I have not played. Stop paying me."
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for USA. I'm hoping to see some more. I haven't checked their friendlies, but it doesn't seem like it wouldn't be a full roster just because until there's an international break.
Yeah, I think you're right. In the meantime, we'll just have to deal with the women's team. See some good soccer there. They got the She Believes Cup coming up. You got to tune in.
I love watching the women play, and
they're good.
Yeah, they played Colombia, which there's only a couple teams that are at their level, and so in the She Believes Cup, it seems like they're always all there, and it's great to watch. And my wife Jess, she played college soccer. She loves to watch the women, so a lot of respect for what they do, and I'm glad they're getting paid equally, which is a long time overdue.
Yeah, the She Believes, I think it's going to be the U.S. and they're inviting Brazil, Japan, someone else, like teams that they'll see in the Olympics. Like, this is kind of a preview of that. That's going to be good.
Yeah, Olympics is big on the women's side. You don't really see it much on the men's side just because it's got to be all the younger guys. But the Olympic, that's a big deal. And is Marta still playing for Brazil? What is this? She 15th year?
I don't know. I'm sure she is. She's like the Ibra of women's soccer.
Speaking of super senior, right?
God, yeah,
she's killing it.
She's good.
No, that'd be good. I'm glad there's some good international soccer coming on. So women's or men's, it's always good to watch.
I know. It's like, I don't care. Just show me some good soccer.
You're talking about some Liga MX the other day on the other podcast.
Oh,
I need to get into that. Where are you watching?
I mean, it's either on Telemundo, ESPN Deportes, or I think Fox has their own Fox Deportes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, okay, if I've already watched a few episodes of New Girl on Netflix, let me just switch it over to Liga MX. I can only watch Schmidt for so long.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you brought that up. Coach Yeager, our head coach at Lynchburg, just started watching New Girl, and I swear to you, every day he comes in just quoting it. And Keegan loves it, and the whole family's watching it. And so we tried to get him to watch it, and he was like, New Girl, because it's the title. Everyone's like, New Girl?
I know. You got to get past the title.
Yeah. And tremendous show. If you haven't watched it, go watch it right now. Turn us off. Go turn on Netflix. Watch it.
Stop listening right now. Yeah, it's called New Girl, but it's a very bro comedy.
Yes. A lot of different characters. You might not like Schmidt first, but you will. Trust me.
Yeah. You'll come around on Schmidt.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Nick Miller, 100%. He's just, there's nothing.
That was quick.
Yeah, there's nothing not to like about him. And that sentence was terrible, and that's probably the way he speaks as well. So that's, another plus for him.
Good Nick Miller impression.
Yeah, Nick Miller.
I think underrated is Winston. Winston doesn't get enough love for being like the best friend. He's the realist.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go watch some New Girl tonight.
Absolutely. Back to this Liga MX if we're done here.
Yes.
Tell me how'd you get on to Liga MX? You just tired of MLS?
Yes. And it was sort of just try to watch random games and just to see like, is this good soccer?
Yeah.
And sure enough, it is. It's pretty cool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a different style, but it's fun to watch, and it's speaking of, dude, we're having a semi-pro team in Lynchburg now.
What? Tell
Yeah,
me about this.
in UPSL. So it's like a full-fledged season. We're going to start in the spring. And
Okay.
we travel for games. So Virginia Beach has 2 teams, Northern Virginia, Maryland. And one of the teams, I think they're called like Commonwealth FC, made it to like the playoffs and had to go into New York to play. So yeah, I mean, they're putting a squad together. It's got a couple ex-Liberty guys, got a couple local guys. So some guys that are traveling pretty far to play.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Based in Lynchburg.
Based in Lynchburg, yeah.
Cool.
Playing at City Stadium.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What's the team called?
Lynchburg FC.
Lynchburg FC.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. And looking forward to it. Got to get back in shape.
Oh, are you gonna be the center back?
Yeah, as of now.
Let's go.
I try to work my way forward, start with CDM, and then finally find myself at point striker, which, I truly believe I am at heart. So just back to goal. Everything's in front of me still as a center back if I'm playing back to goal,
That's true. That's true. You'll be the Lynchburg Peter Crouch.
Absolutely. And I take that as the highest compliment because I love Peter Crouch. I'm talking about underrated.
Underrated? Do we remember his celebrations?
Oh, yeah, the robot.
He crushed the robot. He brought the robot back single-handedly.
Yep. That and Euro Trip, the robot.
The robot fight. That's funny.
All right. Well, cool, man. Thanks for having me on. It's good catching up with you. Well, it's about time, so I gotta head out.
All right, man.
Not for me. All right, buddy. Take it easy.
All right, Hank. I'll see you later, man. Big love. Peace.